How can I say goodbye? How I would rather die. How can I say goodbye? How I would rather die. How can I say
I feel like I've become closer with the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, especially Imam Hussein alayhi salam and Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam, after visiting them twice. Now, when I have problems, my problems seem so much smaller now, and when I have difficulties, I just close my eyes and picture myself in Bain al-Haramain. And I think about and I reflect about where I was and the beauty, my relationship is much stronger, I feel. I can feel it, especially after the second trip. I'm more calm with just everyday life. And I call them a lot more when I'm in trouble. I ask them to pray for me. But and I often listen to Ziyarat Ashura more than ever now. I put it on every morning when I'm getting ready for work or when I come home from work. Something tells me to put it on and listen to it. So I feel much more closer with the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam.
On a personal level, I do feel more closer toward the Ahlul Bayt in terms of, even from the moment from when I wake up, they're the first thing that come in my mind. As well as I'm reading a lot more books, reading up about their history, about their families, their sons, their children, the way they dealt with life, specific prayers and namaz that they used to do.
When you say Assalamu alayka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, it was far away from where we are now. When we say Assalamu alayka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, he's just closer to us here. This is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we know, if we are with Amir al-Mu'mineen, and always we read his fada'il, he will be with us. There are three places where Amirul Mu'mineen will be with us. Number one, when we are in Sakratil Maut, we are about to die. That is a difficult moment. No friend, no any doctor, nobody can change the situation. But Amirul Mu'mineen says, if you are with me, and if you are truly my lover, I will be with you at Sakratil Maut. Number two, on the day when we are going to be resurrected, it's a difficult day, the day when Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says, وَمَا لِي لَا أَبْكِي, why can't I cry? When I look left and right, I see everyone is busy, because the day is a difficult day. Imam Amirul Mu'mineen says, I'll be with you on that particular day. And the third place, he says, when people are crossing the Sirat, it's a difficult place. I'll be with you on that particular day.
After visiting the shrine of Imam Ali Rida alayhi salam and experiencing everything that I've experienced, as I'm there, I wish that my family was there with me, so they could see and experience everything that I'm seeing and I'm experiencing. Because you're there and you're wanting to show them everything. Oh, look here, look there, look at this. And yet you're there alone, but you're not alone. The Ahlul Bayt is with you. Imam Ali Rida alayhi salam is with you. And when I went on ziyarah, I went alone. And subhanAllah, even though you go alone, you're not alone. And you don't feel alone. And during ziyarah, you make friends. I made friends, lifelong friends, that you will never forget. And you will always keep in touch with, and they really made you feel at home. On a personal level, after visiting the shrine of Imam Ali alayhi salam, I feel number one, so much more attached to him. I mean, personally, I can't believe I was there. And after my family just came back from Arba'in, I wish I was able to be with them, because I feel like I just want to go back. You do truly leave your heart behind once you leave all of the Ahl al-Bayt's maqams, and you really leave a piece of you behind. And you just long to go back, and you pray to Allah to grant you the chance to go back again, to visit Ahlul Bayt, our Imam, our Master. After visiting Imam Ali's shrine, he's inspired me in my life in so many ways. Number one, in the way I treat people, in my own patience and self-esteem, the confidence I have in Islam and Ahlul Bayt. And just to actually, just to imagine that this is the man, the most courageous, the only man to perform ghusl for the Prophet, the man that was born in the best of places, in the Kaaba, the man that got killed in the best of places, in sujood, the closest you can get to Allah on this earth. And once we reached the shrine of Imam Ali alayhi salam, the moment we saw the dome, just a feeling of emotion just hits you, and reality kicks in, and at the same time, you can't believe you're here. You're seeing our Imam's shrine. And I remember when we entered the courtyard and were walking towards it, the moment I turned the corner, I saw the zari'ah of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Just emotion hits you. And I remember my beard being full of tears. It's seeing all the people there emotional and making dua, and you're wondering what everyone in this room is going through, and everything. You wonder what they pray for, their families. Some of the things that I prayed for when I was at Imam Ali's shrine, I prayed for the health of my family, the strength of the Shia in this world, because we're all being oppressed. We're all in a time of a great oppression right now. And I pray for the reappearance of Sahib al-Zaman. And I also pray for all of our alamat, the maraji'. May Allah lengthen their lives. I pray for the defense of all of our countries and our people and all the places of oppression, like in Syria and Bahrain, in Lebanon, everywhere.
The first thing I said I apologized to Imam Hussein, because I had promised Imam Hussein that I would put away a sin that I used to commit, and sadly I continued that sin. That was the first thing I said. I said, Imam Hussein, I'm sorry, I'm here again, with shame and regret, to forgive me and to thank you. That was it. I didn't want anything else. To forgive me and to thank you. I left all my du'as till the very last day. And every time I left the shrine, I always hoped to come back the next day. So I would talk to the Imam. I'd be like, Imam, I'm just gonna go and come back. No goodbyes. I'm not gonna do goodbyes. That's how I always left the shrine. But I was just so ashamed of myself. I remember when we walked to Karbala and we got to Bain al-Haramain, I could not believe it. I could not believe that I was in the land of Karbala in Bain al-Haramain, once again invited to be in between the two shrines. I could not believe it. And I want to go back, inshallah. Inshallah, I'll get invited. You know, with the sins that we all have, we try. It's really hard. And I hope to God that Imam Hussein will invite us every year again, and we can go back.
When we finally entered the shrine of Imam Hussein, alayhi salam, and my eye caught the zari'ah of Imam Hussein, I literally just paused in my spot. I put my hand on the wall, and you can't help but just cry, and you can't imagine, you can't believe that you're here. You spend so much time, the past 11 years of my life I spent reading about him, seeing pictures, reading his story, and mourning him year after year during Arba'een and Ashura as a family, and teaching your son and your family and educating people about Imam Hussein. And then to finally be there and lay your eyes on his shrine, on his zari'ah. This is the man that sacrificed, the ultimate sacrifice. The leaders of the youth of Jannah is right here in front of me. I spent my whole life learning about him, and now he's here in front of me. It's unrealistic. It's such a spectacular feeling. When I finally reached the zari'ah and I managed to get my hands around the zari'ah, I remember praying to him and telling him, "Oh my master Imam Hussein alayhi salam, I send my salams from your father Imam Ali alayhi salam. I was just visiting him, and I asked him to pray for me upon your behalf and his behalf." And I thanked him. I remembered thanking him so much for everything he sacrificed for us. Ya laytana kunna ma'ak fanafuza fawzan azima. How I wish we were with you to win a great victory in victorious time. I wish I was there for him when he called for help, when he called for someone to be there with him. That's the ultimate sacrifice, what he did. And if it was not for him, Allah knows what would happen to the Shia today. There may have not been any Shia today. The meaning of that call for help from Imam Hussein alayhi salam does not just mean someone going there and helping him during that time of sacrifice. It also means the sacrifice that we're living today, especially out here in the West. The oppression that everyone is going through, the knowledge that we have to gain so that we can teach others the difference between true Islam and people falsifying Islam. It's a way of life, it's a way of teaching your kids, the sacrifices that we do in our life for our kids and our families, the sacrifice we have in our works, the hardship that we go through in life with our marriage. It's more generic. It's not just the sacrifice on the day of Karbala. It's a sacrifice of life, giving our life to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to tell Him that we're servants for Him, and the Ahlul Bayt are our masters, and we sacrifice ourselves for them. We are their slaves. After visiting the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, to me he's like a father. He's like a fatherly figure to me, beyond a fatherly figure. The man that teaches the son the way to live life, to be prosperous, to live a righteous life, especially in the country like this in the West, where there are so many distractions. To keep in our minds the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt, no matter where we go in any of life's situations, and never to forget the ultimate sacrifice that he made. And no matter what we do in our life, we can use that as an example. The one thing I will never forget about this trip for ziyarah was on our way to the shrine of Imam Hussein and Abu Fadl Abbas. We did a 3-kilometer walk, and they gave us the option of going barefoot and putting clay on our faces and our clothing. I found the barefoot thing okay, but I found the clay a little bit strange to me personally. But then they mentioned to us that once you put the clay on, you'll feel more spiritual, and they strongly recommend it. I said, you know what, I'm here for Ahlul Bayt, I'm their servant, let me just do it for them. I don't want to go there with just clean clothes. I want to show them that I sacrificed things just to reach them. So I put the clay on my face and my clothing. I went barefoot. And during that whole walk, I can't remember a moment of not shedding tears for them. I remember the last kilometer or half kilometer, the last stretch to the shrine. I was granted the chance to hold the flag and walk in the front. And I remember the moment I saw the flag on top of the dome, I just broke out in tears, full of emotion. And the more of the dome that showed, and the more of the shrine that showed, the more closer we got. I felt such a strong attachment. It's like a pull, someone's pulling you there, like you're just focused in on that one place. It was so... It was a very emotional time for me, as well as everybody else around me. And as we got closer, we entered into the courtyard of Imam Hussein and Abu Fadl al-Abbas, between the Haramain. And I remembered people of residence that lived in Iraq, and people who were visiting Iraq for ziyarah. They were running up to us, and they were pulling the clay that's hardened up from our beards and from our clothing, and rubbing it on their faces and their sons' faces and their daughters' faces. And people running up and touching the flag. And even during our dua for Imam Hussein and Abu Fadl al-Abbas outside the shrines between the Haramain, people were still coming up to us and just rubbing and taking the trab of Karbala off of us and putting it on their faces as a barakah.
Doing the short walk, the first thing I did was I was like, I'm going to take off my shoes. Because when I went for Arba'in, I didn't take off my shoes. It was my first experience. And I was like, you know, if I go back the second time, I want to experience walking to Karbala with no shoes on. So that was the first thing I did. And I was so excited. So we started to walk, and you know, you get closer to Karbala and you see the red flags. But then the first thing you see is the haram of Ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen, and you start bawling again. And you know, I can picture it every time. I don't even have to close my eyes. As I'm talking to you, I can picture myself on the road walking, and in front of me is the shrine of Ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen, Abbas. It's the first thing you see, and wallahi, it's amazing. It's amazing that's the first thing you see, Abbas. That's the first thing you see. And you're reminded of the Khaymagah, where they used to have the tents, and Abbas's tent was the first one. So it all, you just reflect, you know, he's the first one you see, his tent was the first one. He was always there for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But when you're walking, you just get so emotional. You beat your chest much harder. Because you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here for the second time. For the second time, I've given the permission to be in the land of Karbala, walking. Because not everyone is given that permission.
I have seen with my own eyes in Africa. One gentleman is so poor, I can say. He lives in a remote area in Africa. But every year he gives khums. How much? 100 Kenya shillings. That is, I don't know, even less than one pound sterling. But he makes sure that every year he gives that. When we came to learn about this story, actually I remember that particular mu'min, Shia brother, in remote village of Africa. How many times we battle with ourselves? Can I give? Can I not give? How much can I give? Can I delay? And we find loopholes here and there not to give khums money. But this lady is telling us that when you have sincerity, the little you give is bigger in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not quantity, it is the quality of ibadah which we need. Your 2 rakats, your 2 dirham can be something big if your heart is pure and you do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
It was great to go to the shrine of Bibi Shatita because she's just a normal person, just like one of us. And that's a great example of how much love she had for the Imam and how any of us can be like her and be so kind and helpful to the other members of the community wherever you live, no matter if you live in the Middle East or Canada, America, Europe. You have to, and she was really good at being helpful to other people and helping people. When we got there again, we listened to a lecture by the Sheikh Ayub, and we learned more about her.
After visiting the shrine of Bibi Shatita in Nayshabur, visiting this ordinary person, just like you and I, so devoted and loving and caring and toward the Ahlul Bayt, especially Imam Musa al-Qadhim alayhi salam. And the fact that Imam Musa al-Qadhim alayhi salam prayed the janazah for her burial shows the level of worship that we can reach as a person, as a regular individual. Bibi Shatita is an example to everyone living anywhere in the world that we can all reach a level of worship, a level of spirituality that any ordinary person can leave. You don't have to be a ma'soom, one of the chosen ones, to reach a certain level or to get something from the Ahlul Bayt. If you have the love inside you for the Ahlul Bayt, subhanAllah, they will find their way to you. To see someone like Bibi Shatita, a regular individual just like you and I, reach this type of status, and to actually have Imam Musa al-Qadhim alayhi salam pray the janazah for her, we as human beings living in this time where we're just waiting for Imam al-Zaman, if we can all just hold on to the religion stronger and read more about the Ahlul Bayt and familiarize ourselves with Ahlul Bayt and their teachings and their stories and the history, especially the history, it will grow, a light will grow inside of us, which will draw the Ahlul Bayt, inshallah, near, more closer to us.
We live in the world which is full of temptations. Sometimes it's difficult for us to connect with the Imam of our time. It is places like this one, in Quran, where we come to do tajdeed of the bay'ah that we are in. So inshallah we'll go inside, do 2 rakats of namaz, tahiyya lil masjid, give it hadiyah to the Imam of your time. How many times he has prayed for us? Just 2 rakats. You give it hadiyah to the Imam of our time, the benefit will come back to you. Inshallah, our hearts will be pure and we will be ready to be closer to our Mahdi, inshallah. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us be closer to the Imam of our time. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us be able, inshallah, to be closer to our Imam every day and every night, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us see the benefit of this ziyarah of this masjid of Quran. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us, inshallah, to get the help and imdadat of Imam of our time, inshallah. When we die, Ya Allah, we ask you to resurrect us with Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Birahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma kulli waliyika.
Ziyarah to me, with no doubt in my mind, 0% doubt, 0 regrets, has this ziyarah of visiting the Ahlul Bayt been of benefit to me and uplifting a breath of fresh air. If you're in the time of your life, or you're just questioning things, or you're unsure of what to do in your life, or you want that knowledge, gain the knowledge and the spirit and the level of love toward Ahlul Bayt, there is no doubt in my mind that this trip to visit our masters is definitely a benefit to anyone and everyone.
Ziyarah has definitely changed my lifestyle, has changed me quite a bit, and I'm sure it will change me even more every day, every month, every year from now on. I'm more relaxed, I'm more calm. I try my best to reflect more, be careful with my words, be careful with my thoughts. But I have a better connection with the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, especially with Imam Hussein and Amir al-Mu'mineen and Yabna Amir al-Mu'mineen. But obviously, I'm sure if you ask my friends, they'll be able to answer the question much better, because I lived my life just similar to how I lived it before. I mean, I'm trying to make changes in my life. But the biggest, I listen to Ziyarat Ashura quite often now. I've began to read the Quran, the translation of the Quran more. I have, my du'as are accepted much faster, which is really interesting. I'm more hopeful, I'm more thankful, and I cannot believe that I've gone to Karbala twice. So I'm very thankful for my life, for everything that I have. I'm very thankful. Every time, and I try to remind myself, every time I open the door to my place where I am right now, I go, wow, my God, you're so merciful. I have my own place. I have like walls. There's a roof. I have food in my fridge, because when you visit places like that, you see people who are less fortunate than you, and it's a reminder. Every time I open that door, it's a reminder, Ali, be very grateful that you have a place, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to not even do ziyarah. It's just to live life good, to benefit that everything that Allah has given us. So it's changed me a lot, and inshallah it will change me even more. But I've noticed small things about myself, and I'm looking forward to life. I'm less nervous now, actually. I'm more chill. I put my trust in God more. And I try, when I go to bed, I try my best to talk to Him more. So the second time I went to Ziyarah, we went to Karbala, and then we went to Iran, and then in Mashhad, we went from Najaf to Mashhad, and then in Mashhad, they have a lot of rings. So it's the place for guys to buy rings. So we went with a whole bunch of different friends, and every night we would check out different ring shops. And then I had my eye on this ring for a few nights. And then on my last night, I purchased it at 3 in the morning after going to... No, I bought it and then I took it to the haram. It was great. And having this on my finger and then coming back from Ziyarah, you would not believe a lot of people compliment me on my ring, and I have to explain where I got it from and all that stuff. I have already met people who are 50-50 on they're not sure if they should go. They're like, oh yeah, I want to go, but this and that. And I always tell them, just go. You have to go. Like all this stuff, I get it. I mean, no matter what, we're always going to have problems. Be it financial problems, be it health problems, this and that, right? That will always be there. You can't delay it, right? That will always be there. But just go, because you have to, in order to understand life, you have to go to the master. You have to go to the master. And in order to understand Allah better, you have to go to the ones that He loves the most. Yeah? So, Karbala is the land that is paradise on earth. And if you want to soften your heart, if you feel like you have a hard heart, you're not crying anymore, that you're too stressed with life and you're running around 9 to 5, this and that, you got to take some time off and go back, recharge the batteries. You know, vacations are great. Hawaii, this and that, they're great. But why not visit your Imam first? Like I've always told my friends, I would love to go to Japan. I just love Japan. I want to go. But and it's really interesting. Before I went to Arba'in, I was like, I want to go to Japan. But I was like, you know, Ali, how could you go to Japan when you haven't even visited Karbala? You know, your Imams. So now I'm like, I want to go to Japan, but I must go to Hajj. I have to do Hajj first. So go to Karbala, go to Hajj, go to Mashhad, and reflect and connect with your Imam. Because once you connect, your heart will be lifted. Your spirit, your soul will be lifted. You will have more confidence. If you have depression, if you're just sad, if you've given up on life, it's become a routine. Just go to your Imam, because at the end of the day, this world, this materialistic world will end. This will all it will all end. It's the Imams, the Ahlul Bayt, you know, when we're put in that grave, they're the ones that will help us on our first night. They're the ones that will be there for us. And you know what? I want to be in Jannah. I want to be closer to our Imam. This life is so short. So if you're on the fence, go. Just book some time and go. But make the intention. Speak to your Imam when you're going to bed. Imam, please invite me. And inshallah, he will invite you, and inshallah, he'll invite myself and my friends. And inshallah, we'll go. Because one time, twice, 3, 4 times is never enough. There's actually a hadith, if I'm not wrong, by Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. If you can't go twice a year and connect with Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
To the people who are postponing the ziyarah of the Ahlul Bayt, who are just unsure or uneasy of going, whether it be because of safety or whatnot, just remember that not only is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala watching all of us and protecting all of us, but you're going to visit the Ahlul Bayt, the people that gave you what you have today. They risked their lives for you. Why not we risk our lives for them? Give them something in return. If you're fearful of going, and if that's what's stopping you, just think of how Imam Hussein عليه must have felt that day, alone in Karbalaء, when all of his family all of his companions have been slaughtered, and he was standing there alone calling for help. How he must have felt on that day. Why not spend this time right now for us to answer his call on that day of Ashura, when he called for help? Let us be the answer to that call.
To Tonight is the final night. Tonight is the final night. Tonight is the final night.